Hey, what's up guys? It's Tom here. Thank you so much for all your comments in my last video. I read through every single comment and it really means the world to me that you guys are still watching and supporting this channel. So, as mentioned before, I'm gonna be dropping a lot of bombs on this channel going forward, and today is the first one. In fact, this call was actually a pre-recorded call between Damien and I exclusively for the students of FBA Masterclass, which is my course. We have weekly calls every single week, and this is actually one of the calls that we had last week. Now, this call is going to be bomb.com. What are we gonna talk about? Well, we are gonna talk about how Damien, how he built a pre-launch list before his product even arrived. He doesn't have inventory, but he was able to build an 8,000 people pre-launch list that were so excited to buy his product that he actually sold tons of products before they even arrived. So imagine this for your Amazon FBA business for a second, that before your product even arrived in Amazon FBA, you already have an engaged community and an engaged audience who's ready to actually buy your product. Once they buy your product, you're ranking on Amazon spikes. Now that you have their contact information, you can ask them for reviews. So boom, you're gonna get tons of authentic reviews right away. The best part, you don't need to do any giveaways. Maybe a 10, 25% discount, but that's it. So this is gonna be a really long call, but I think it's going to be one of those things that if you implement, it's gonna be an absolute game changer. And this is something that I'm gonna be implementing to my business once I figure out which brand I wanna launch next. This is absolutely crucial. So honestly, the best way I would watch this video is like go somewhere quiet, take out paper and pen, and literally like it's very, very tactical. And then from there, actually implement this to your business. I think this is gonna be a multi-call series because right now we only talked about TikTok, how he was able to build 8,000 people through his TikTok page and how he went viral for a few TikTok videos. For those that are not using TikTok right now, this is really the golden rush of TikTok. Like you can get viral, you can get hundreds and thousands of views, even millions of views, and you can sell tons of products. And there's many physical product brands that are doing this right now. So anyways, without further ado, I would sit down, get a paper and pen out, and really listen to what Damien and I have to say about how to build a pre-launch list using TikTok in 2022 and beyond. Enjoy. So I'll give everybody a quick summary. So basically, Damien, him and I met last year sometime. Yeah, just through the internet, I guess. Funny enough, he actually came to one of my CBC seminars like 2 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago?
3 years ago. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. And he had a Amazon FBA business that was doing $30,000 a month, selling like meditation yoga or some sort of
meditation and yoga products.
Yeah. So, and then he didn't want to go to school. So he made his parents a deal and he's like, if I can get to $30,000 a month, was it?
30 grand. Yeah.
If I can get to 30 grand a month, then I don't have to go to school. And his parents agreed. And what's cool is like you saved up money, you worked a bunch of different jobs, and you saved up the money to invest in this Amazon FBA business and you made it work. And then you didn't have to go to school. And then now you're working on your next project, which is a very challenging project, but I'm sure it's
challenging. Hardest thing I've ever done, honestly.
Hardest thing you've ever done. Let's talk about that. Can you maybe share with people what the project is and why is it the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah. So I currently am doing a startup called Effing It's a better for you late night snacking company. And pretty much the thesis of it is a lot of times late at night, 9 p.m., we have a sweet tooth. And when we get late night cravings, it's usually for really unhealthy things like cookies or chips or ice cream. So Effing Good Snacks is really here to reimagine the cult classic, most popular midnight snacks into better for you options that could also help promote sleep. We're really out to reimagine the most popular cult classic, unhealthy late night junk foods like cookies and chips and everything that you love growing up. So the first product we're coming out with are mini chocolate chip cookies enhanced with sleep promoting ingredients. So they have 1 gram sugar, 2 gram net carbs. They're gluten-free, grain-free, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on for the past month. And it's honestly, starting a food company is one of the hardest things I've ever done, just because there's so many logistical nightmares that you have to go through, like ordering ingredients, finding a supplier, and just really getting someone to try it. With a food product, it's hard because no one's ever tried it, especially if you're a new business. So it's really, how do you get someone to be, emotionally invested in your company from the get-go, to want to try your product without ever knowing what it tastes like. So it's definitely been super challenging so far, but it's been super, super fun. And I think it's going to be something awesome and great. And I have a lot of cool ideas for it, but for now we're just getting ready to launch. And yeah.
Can you share with us in terms of how you came up with the idea? It's not so much like I went on Viral Launch and Jungle Scout and I entered in the criteria, and then cookies came out, so I decided to do cookies. That's more like Amazon approach. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you approach this differently?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as Tom told you guys, I started an FBA business freshman year of college when I was 19. So I started a yoga brand selling like yoga blocks, mats, meditation cushions, like all that kind of good stuff, just because, I was going through, the search tools and all that, trying to find a good product. But after about like a year and a half running that, I was just really burnt out, and I wasn't really enjoying it so much as when I first started. And after like kind of, writing it down as to like why, I just realized it's not something that I'm personally, scratching my own itch. It's not a problem that I have. And so like for me personally, I have to be like really passionate about something. Like I have to be like super obsessed about something in order to, do it for the long haul. So about like after a year and a half, I like sat down, kind of brainstormed what I wanted to do next. And for my next business. And I had like 3 criterias that it really had to hit home in order for me to go after it. And it was like something that I experience on a day-to-day basis, something that someone can use in their day-to-day lives, and it solves a big problem for them. So that checked off. Late night snacking checked that off. It was something that a lot of people experience, and it's something that I genuinely can see myself doing for the next like 5 to 10 years. So I've been brainstorming, and then just like one night was watching Netflix with my girlfriend, and she loves like cookies. I love cookies. And we both both on a high protein, low carb diet. And no matter like how healthy we ate, we always had a late night sweet tooth, late night snacking problem. So that was kind of just like the moment for me. And like, when kind of like the idea comes to your head, you just kind of like, it's like hard to explain, you know what I mean? And then, just kind of started. I actually remember like the day after I thought of the idea, I incorporated a business. So I did it pretty right away, because I just kind of knew. Yeah, it was my next thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I think before we even go into Damien's launch strategy, I think there's something to be taken away from that. It's like kind of what I've been kind of promoting over the past few months now. It's just like, look, the problem with Amazon is that everybody is entering the same criteria, using the same tools. And once everybody does that, it gets saturated, right? So you need to think 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of that, so that you don't become part of the saturation. And I think the best way, like, I don't know, like for me going forward, and for Damien, obviously right now, it's the next product I launch, it needs to be something that I'm a user of, something I'm passionate about, and something that even if nobody buys, it makes my life a little bit better. And I think if you can think like from that perspective of like solving your own itch, scratching your own itch and solving your own problems, there's countless of many other folks who will also see value in your product or services, right? And a lot of these really big companies are all started by the founders solving their own problems. For example, GoPro, right? GoPro is a massive company. I'm sure all of you have heard of it. But the guy, he was surfing and he wanted to buy a camera for a surfboard to capture him surfing, and he couldn't find a camera on the market. So it's like, what if I just created a camera that can do that? And that's like really the first question you ask yourself. It's like, what if? There's nothing that doesn't exist. Like, what if?
Yeah, one of my favorite examples of this is I don't know if you've heard of the company called Truff, the hot sauce company.
Yeah.
It's like there was no like data pointing that there was a need for, a truffle hot sauce, right? But it was a problem they had. They wanted a truffle hot sauce, but there was nothing like that on the market. So they made it. And now it's like a massive success.
I will say, if you Google Trends, the word truffle, they're writing off of a massive trend.
That's true.
So it's not like one day they decide. Like, I'm sure that trend going up had a massive decision part in the decision making process, because you do want to catch that trend going up. And you can make truffle. You can make truffle hot sauce, truffle. The other night we had truffle dessert, truffle this, truffle that. So you're piggybacking off the trend.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say really is like, if you just kind of like disregard everything else and you just really make something that you personally will enjoy using and something that you want to see out there, then I think if you yourself want to use it, then there's hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of people that would want the same thing. Right.
Yeah. So and then you can really stand behind your brand.
Yeah, exactly. And like when you like talk about your brand and when you like present it or share it with anyone, and it's something that you are actually enjoying what you're doing, and it's something that, you're creating something that would benefit other people as well as yourself. You show up differently. I remember like when I was talking about my yoga business, it was almost like I was kind of embarrassed because people look at me and I don't do yoga. So it's really hypocritical of me to talk about that versus now when I talk about my business, I'm like, I can talk about it for, hours if you let me. So.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump into the meat of this presentation, which is how did Damien build up a email list, a pre-launch list, before he even has the product ready to sell? Now, first, Damien, maybe you can talk to people about why this is important and why this is advantageous.
Yeah. So a pre-launch list is basically just an email list. You don't have to do an email list, but that's where you really kind of own the customer. You can do a Facebook group, you can do whatever you want, but I did an email list, and it's basically kind of like a center hub where you collect everyone's info, you can communicate with them. And it's really super important. And that's something I really wanted to do from the get-go. It's because if you really own that list, you own that community, then you can really do whatever you want, right? If you want to sell on Amazon, you want to list your products on Amazon. If you have that core list and community that people know, like, and trust you, then all you have to do is just like send an email, and then you can send people to Amazon or, your own website, whatever it is. And so we actually haven't launched yet, and we're launching in about a month. And so about like a month and a half ago, we built up a 6,500 so far pre-launch list. And all of a sudden it was kind of random really, because we had like a video pop off. And then after that, we built up a 6,500 list. I decided to see how engaged the list was and if they were actually going to buy what I was going to sell. And so we launched pre-orders, and luckily that went well. And now we have that list, and we can keep remarketing to them and communicating with them, and really turn those people into our brand evangelists, really. So,
yeah. And that's one of the things like Amazon sellers don't do, right? Because like Amazon sellers, you don't own the customer data. Like that's Amazon's customers. Amazon doesn't give you the customer's email, doesn't give you their phone number, doesn't give you social, doesn't give you anything. But if you can figure out a way to actually get the customer's info and get the customer's details and keep in contact with them, that's obviously going to be very beneficial and powerful. So do you want maybe pull up pull up share your screen, and I can kind of run through everything with you as well.
I use like TikTok mainly to build up my pre-launch list. And so this is kind of like the whole process I took in starting from the top and how to get those emails and how to like launch a pre-order. So if a lot of you don't have your product yet and you're thinking of an idea, what you can actually do is like do a pre-sale. So what that means is someone paying you in advance of you ordering the inventory. So let's say Tom wants to sell like fidget spinners and wants to test the idea. So what he can do is like kind of run through this process, and I can actually pay Tom before he actually places that inventory order. So A, that minimizes his risk, and B, that kind of validates to Tom that, people actually want what he's selling, and he actually has product market fit. And so just starting from the top to what you want to do is TikTok. And the reason why I use TikTok is because I'm bootstrapping this business right now, and TikTok's organic reach is just through the roof. Like literally one video could get you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, and literally change the course of your business, which it did for me. So I started posting actually on December 24th is when I posted like my first real video. And luckily, my first video went viral. I think it's at almost 800,000 views now. And what I did was TikTok doesn't let you. So I'm sure all of you know what Instagram is, and you can actually put a link in bio. So TikTok won't actually let you do that unless you have 1,000 followers. So luckily, that video got me 1,000 followers within like a couple hours. So right away, I created a landing page. And for those of you who don't know, a landing page is pretty much, let me see if I can pull up an example. So a landing page is pretty much just like a page. It's not like a website. It's a standalone page where either someone takes the action on your page or they leave. So in my case, what I did was I just had a page that gave like a brief 1-sentence overview of what the business is about, and had like a form that says like, we're launching soon, sign up below to kind of get first dibs. And the person would put in their name and put in their email. And so that's how I built up the list. And so right here, you can see I use Zipify Pages. It's an app that you can build into your Shopify store. It's a landing page editor. So I sent all the traffic from TikTok to my landing page where someone can give me their email. So I collect their email address. And then what I did was in Klaviyo, which is an email it's a CRM. So I don't know what that stands for, but it's like basically an email.
It's like an email customer. Yeah, it's just an email tool.
Basically, you can send out emails, right? And it connects to your website, and you can attribute how many sales you get from your emails, all that good stuff. So I collect the emails, and then I put them into like a flow and automation where when someone signs up, they get like a welcome email saying like, hey, I'm Damien, founder. I'm super excited to have you be a part of our journey. And then once a week, I would send kind of like an update email. So if any of you have bought things from Kickstarter, you know that they do like a monthly update or quarterly update where they pretty much send you an email or, blog post about like kind of where they are in the journey. So a lot of the times we think like creating content has to be hard, but literally all you have to do is just like share what's been going on with your business. So for example, if Tom buys the fidget spinners, he can literally write an email saying like, hey, we just placed an order for 1,000 units of our fidget spinners. I'm super excited to get them out to you. Or when they're shipping, hey guys, the fidget spinners are finally about to ship. Super excited to get that out to you. So really just kind of like updating people along the way so they don't forget about you, and you can always kind of keep them within your ecosystem because, we have such a short attention span these days. So if you don't really constantly have these touch points and communications with the audience you work so hard to build up, then, at the end of the day, like that's all that matters. And so luckily, I built up the list pretty fast. So for me to test the idea out, I did like a pre-order launch. And so about like,
You're good.
Okay. So about like a week or two. So for me, I just did it on like a week and a half. Okay. So for example, today's March 9th. If I want to do a pre-order launch, March 31st, then I would a week or two before March 31st, kind of tease the launch saying like, hey guys, we're launching pre-orders in about a week. Just kind of want to give you a heads up. And then with the time in between those, you kind of want to, build scarcity and build kind of exclusivity.
Just like get people excited.
Yeah, exactly. Get people excited. So what I did was just kind of include scarcity and exclusivity into my launch sequence. So for the exclusivity part, what I did was you can only pre-order. Sorry, what did I do?
Password.
Oh yeah. If you want to pre-order, you have to have a password in order to get to my site. And for the scarcity part, I said that the first, 200 people to order will get their order like a month before. So people were literally on their emails at exactly the time I said. And then when you launch your pre-orders, it's honestly like the best and most funnest thing possible, because you just see like, people just ordering your stuff, and really validates that like all the hard work you're putting in is worth it. And just take the sale. Even if you get like 5 orders, that's kind of when the hard work begins. I think a lot of people think like after you take the sale, that's when, the relationship, you cut the cord. But I think personally, that's when the hard work, the hard lifting begins. And what I did was, so I did post-purchase videos after. So if Tom buys my cookies, Tom would actually get a personal video from me saying his name, thank you for ordering. So I literally had to, record each individual video for every single person. And that might seem like a lot of hard work, but I think that's really what builds the relationship with people and gets them excited, especially since they're pre-orders. And then you'd also want to do the same thing where you update them every single week with an email saying like, hey, this is what's going on. We're getting ready to ship, whatever it is going on with your business. Update them once a week. Doesn't have to be complicated. And then at the same time, just keep posting content, and then kind of drip them down from the top, and then all the way to the bottom, and then all the way around. So
yeah, I'm gonna
process.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of give an analogy of how this works so that people can truly get a grasp of things. So, for example, there is a apartment building in your city that's being built. That apartment building, they don't finish building it and then they sell the units. What do? They do a pre-sale. So meaning you can come to the presentation center, you can take a look at the artwork and the 3D renders, and then you can put a deposit down so that once the apartment's done building, you have a unit there. So that's almost what Damien is doing here, right? So, exactly. So the top of the funnel, so the top is TikTok, but you can use anything. You can use TikTok, you can use Instagram, you can use Facebook, you can use
whatever.
You can go knock on people's doors. You can send out flyers. What do pre-sales do? They send out flyers. They can do anything. But the point is, on the top here, you're just getting this word out. You're trying to have reach. You're trying to get people to notice and being aware of what's going on here.
Yeah, and so that's the most like cost effective way possible.
Right, and then Damien decided to choose.
I've experimented with like Facebook ads. That I was about to cuss, but that blew completely. So I know that like TikTok is going insane right now. So I'd be stupid not to try it out. And luckily it worked out. But you can literally do like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook groups, whatever it is. All you're trying to do is just get eyeballs onto what you're doing. And you want to funnel those eyeballs, those people who really care about what you're doing, into a center place where you can communicate with them. So you're trying to get a lot of eyeballs, and then out of those, how many, 1,000 eyeballs, maybe like 100 eyeballs will want to know more about what you're up to. And that's when you collect their emails and then turn those 100 eyeballs into, 1,000 eyeballs by treating them right and communicating with them.
Yeah, it's really as simple as that. Like, top of the funnel, get your name out. Whoever's interested will sign up their email, give you your information. Once you have the email, you're just communicating with them, sending them emails. And then from there, once you can, your pre-sale is live, they can buy your product through email. That's really it. So the next few weeks, I'm gonna like to have Damien on these calls to kind of go through the TikTok, the landing page, the Klaviyo, and the rest of it. So today we're just going to start with TikTok. Damien, what do you think? We're just going to start from the top.
Sure. What do you want me to talk about with the TikTok stuff?
Yeah, just like, let's open up your TikTok account and maybe just give people a good understanding of like, a lot of people have never used TikTok. Like, just like, what is TikTok? How do you go about creating videos on TikTok? What are some of the best practices on TikTok? Just everything you know about TikTok. And then next week we can talk about some of the other like technical stuff about how to set up a landing page and stuff like that. Okay,
cool. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah, we can still see your screen. Show us the first video that went viral. Love to see that one.
Yeah. So you can see like I posted like 3 videos or 4 videos, but I was just trying to test it out. But so early December, before I posted this video right here that has 770,000 views, I was really just like trying to study a lot of content. So I watched YouTube religiously. Some of the YouTubers you might know, like Mr. Beast, David Dobrik, Logan Paul, all these big YouTubers. And what I really did was just kind of like study like content, like why does their stuff go viral? Like what makes a good piece of content? And so I studied that from like beginning of December. And then I decided to make my first video on December 24th. So this video right here, this video right here was the video that popped off my account and really mainly got like about like 5,000 pre-launch waiting list signups.
So this video alone generated 5,000 people?
Yeah. So as you can see, this video, why I dropped out of college to make 1 gram sugar bedtime cookies. Obviously, this catches your eye when you see this, like this kid dropped out of college to make cookies. Like what? So this is called a hook. So the first 3 seconds of your video is the most important segment of a video. It's because if you can't get someone to watch the first 3 seconds, they're going to click off, they're going to scroll. And no matter how good, the rest of your content is, they're not going to watch it because you can't keep them around. So this was my hook. So why I dropped out of college to make 1 gram sugar bedtime cookies. And what I did was just, I kind of talked about like, so when you think about like a movie, there's like an arch. So there's the problem, there's the uprising action, the climax, and then the resolution, right? So what I did was I kind of talked about the problem, which is what I experienced with late night snacking. So I introduced the problem, talked about what I tried to kind of fix this problem. So what I said was, I tried baking in my home, my house, but I got super lazy because, it's late at night. So that's kind of the uprising action. And the climax was when I decided to finally start my own business to solve like this problem of mine. And then I showed like, I'll just show you guys real quick.
Yeah, let's watch the video so people can understand. Let's watch the whole thing.
Okay. I'll just make 1 gram sugar bedtime cookies, and here's why. Every single night after dinner, I would get the biggest late night sweet tooth. And if you're like me, your go-to midnight snack are these cookies right here. But then I found out just how bad for you these are before bed. This bag right here has over 28 grams of sugar, which is like eating 7 sugar cubes. And it has over 70 grams of carbs, which is like eating 11 slices of white bread. So to make myself feel better about eating cookies at night, I would bake in my kitchen, trying to come up with healthier recipes, taking out the sugar, taking out the carbs, lower the calories. And this is my masterpiece right here. But after a while, I got tired and lazy at night, and I didn't want to bake every single time I got cookie cravings. So I decided to start a company to create a healthier version of my favorite late night treat. So I got to work. I tested over 30 recipes, looked at over 20 co-manufacturers, and I worked day in, day out, and over the weekends to make this happen. And as a kid who was never good at school, 3 years ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And now I'm starting this business out of a passion. I'm going all in on this. I dropped out of uni. I invested my entire life savings in this, all for a better, guilt-free bedtime cookies. And so we're so close to launching, and I'd love for you to follow me and come along for the ride. I can't wait to share this with you.
What do you guys think of the video? Put in the comment. What are some of the like don't say just good. Like what are some of the emotions that you guys feel? Because I feel like like, I feel like I want to be part of this journey. I'm not sure about what you guys feel. Like, I feel like I want to be like, man, like, I want to back this guy. I want to follow him. I want to follow his journey. Like, there's nothing going on right now, but I want to be a part of it and see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people say raw content, inspirational. I want to smooch Damien. I want to try his cookies. Inspiring storytelling. I like the cookies.
Yeah.
Right idea. Yeah. So
and I think like something that I did in the beginning, why it worked so well is I made it like super familiar to people. I showed a picture of Chips Ahoy, like everybody knows what Chips Ahoy is. And then, so that kind of like relates to people. And, when you're really like emotionally invested in someone's like journey, you're going to be emotionally invested in the brand. So I think like people want to like stick around to see what happens, see what this kid can actually like do. So I think that's a big part. And also like the call to action at the end, follow me and come along for this like crazy ride. And I think that's what got us a lot of followers and list subscribers.
Yeah, totally. What can you show us maybe another video that did really well? I think guys, the most important thing is there's a formula to this. This is not like Damien just like one day he wanted to make. It's not like one day he wanted to just make a video. So he got out his cell phone and started recording. There's actually like a formula, like a hook, first 3 seconds. And you probably planned this out, right? You probably wrote it out.
Yeah, I wrote it out. Yeah.
So it's like, think of it. It's like filming a movie. Like they don't just go ahead and start filming a movie. They plan each scene. That's the type of effort that you guys need to actually put in to create these videos. And there's script.
Also, you can also do something like I've had some videos that literally took me like 2 minutes to make, and it got hundreds of thousands of views. And then a video that took me literally like a day to make got like 20,000 views. So right. You can also like TikTok is like a platform where it really values authenticity. So if the more authentic you are, and the more like it feels like someone's like hanging out with you, that also performs well. But I think like going forward with like my account, I really want to be on like the aspirational side of things where I'm kind of bringing people along the journey. So I'm coming out with like a series next week where I'm talking about my goal is to get into Erewhon, which is kind of like a health store in LA. So I'm going to bring people along the journey from like the beginning to the end to see if I actually do it. So what you really want to do is just like focus on like bringing people emotionally invested in the process. Yeah. And so this is also like a video that did well. So the text on screen is, I think personally, the text on screen in the first 3 seconds is equally as important as how you say it. Just because that's the first thing that people see. So in this screen, I said how it started, and then probably most of it's going to say like how it's going, right? So like TikTok, it's pretty much like the only metrics that really matter are like engagement and watch time, right? So if you really just like make your content with these two things in mind, then you're going to do fine, because you want to watch to the end to see how this plays out, right? Obviously. So I think the watch time on this video was like 82%. So 82% of the people that watched this video watched it to the end because they want to see how things play out, right? So I'll just play this. I told you it's just this very simple video that took me like 5 minutes to make. So literally something as simple as that, just like a before and after, does really well.
But I'll also, sorry to interrupt, the music that you picked is also really, really important. So on TikTok and Instagram, they give you music that you can use. So it's called trending music. So you want to use those trending music to actually make your videos. And each trending music actually has its own theme. So this music right now, the song, everybody who uses this song is always showing something like before and after, like how it got started to where it is now. So you want to use that as part of your
as
storytelling.
advantageous to you as possible. And like the only way, like, is there like a way to find like trending sound? Yeah. But the best way I found is literally just like make a TikTok account and then just follow people that you respect, and then create content that you want to create in your niche or whatever. And then just follow them and literally just scroll through their content, look at what songs they're picking, save it to your favorites, and just keep like consuming for like a week and see how they make their content, what songs they use, what videos, what backgrounds, all of that kind of stuff before you kind of make it. So you have a good idea on like how the ecosystem of the platform really works. And, you know, I'm not an expert like by any means, but I'm still learning. But this is just kind of like what I did that kind of helped like take us off.
Yeah. Show us another video.
Okay, I'm trying to think.
See one more.
Okay, so this is one of the videos that took me a long time that didn't do as well as I thought it would. I'm trying to see where
maybe show us a video that's like just like didn't get any views.
I saw 4,000.
Okay. Oh, you want me to show a video?
Yeah, just show us a video that's like, maybe like that 1237.
Which one?
I don't know, 1400. Like, I don't know, just pick one with low views.
Yeah, like this one, you know, I just started posting videos. So this one doesn't, okay. So there's like a couple like videos that you want to make. There's like the top of the funnel videos, which means you make those videos with the intent of it trying to go viral. And then there's also the bottom of the funnel videos where it's not going to get as much views, but with those videos, you really want to build a deeper connection with your audience. So replying to comments and just really talking as if, you know, you're not trying to talk to many, but talk to like one person. So this one is just like kind of like what, where like right after my video went viral, and I was just like replying to comments. So people who saw my video would be like, oh, like, you know, this is kind of behind the scenes of how he replies to comments. But, you know, 90% of the videos that you post is going to be on someone's For You page who has never seen your videos before. So if someone haven't seen my video before, they wouldn't give a shit, you know, about this video, right? So they just keep scrolling. So I think that's one of the reasons why it just got, you know, 1,000 views or whatever. You know, it's just very boring video, but it's
Can you talk more about the For You page?
Yeah, like what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, just like what is it?
Yeah, so the For You page is pretty much it doesn't work on desktop, so I can't show you guys, but it only works on your mobile. So TikTok is really smart, right? So when you make a new account, what you really want to pay attention to is only interact and follow accounts that are within the niche that you want to post in. So for you know, if let's say meditation. If I'm selling a meditation cushion, then I only want to follow and interact with accounts with people that are in the yoga space or in the meditation space. You know, I don't want to follow someone that's like Emily Morico, like making cooking videos. You know what I mean? So really just like following those people. And once you kind of like follow, you know, 10 or 20 people, interact, like, comment, then TikTok is very smart and they're going to show. So the For You page is only going to be videos related to the yoga space and the meditation space. So yeah,
that's a really good tip.
That's pretty much how the For You page works.
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah. So with Instagram, it's like
hashtags as well.
Hashtags, I don't really pay much attention to hashtag nowadays, but in the beginning it might work. Actually, I don't really care about hashtags. I think it's just like a way for the platform to kind of direct your content more to that side. But you know, I've posted videos with like 0 hashtags and it's done really well, but hashtags and, you know, it flopped. So I think it's really more about like making content that someone wants to watch rather than obsess over like they're really tiny things.
You know, we have another student. His name is John, and he go on TikTok and type in John. What's your just type in John. Maybe it'll pop up. No, you got to go to the search.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like
search
that?
Accounts and videos. Yeah. No, Jon. No, John accounts. John.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a third one. John Tech. Yeah.
John.
So this is one of our.
Baby?
So this is one of our students as well, and he built again. He uses TikTok religiously, and all he does is like keyboard videos. So click on the one that got 900, like 1 billion views on the top, like 900. Yeah, click on this one. You got to turn on the audio and play from the beginning.
These are satisfying. He sells this?
Yeah, I think he's selling a version of it. So you can't hear anything right now, unfortunately, but basically he does because his microphone. Yeah, we can't hear it. But basically he just types and then like these mechanical keyboard like makes these like really clicky sounds and it gets like freaking 1 million like 1 million views. And he sold like some crazy amount of units. John. Yeah. So he uses TikTok as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this kind of like satisfying like ASMR videos do like super well. Tom, do you know who like Emily Morico is?
No.
She's just this. She just makes food, and so. She
I saw her on Trends, right?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Can we pull that up? Can we pull that up real quick?
She's my favorite.
It's crazy.
I know, dude. It's insane.
So she does not talk in any of her videos.
No.
And
let's see. Where's this? Yeah, I'll just pull up a random one. So, like, all she does is just take.
And a lot of videos, she doesn't even show her face. But we can't hear anything. No, we can't hear anything. But guys, go follow this account, Emily Morico.
Yeah, it's just
and follow John. But I think it's really important for you guys to like. There is a formula behind why some things work, and I think it's really important for you guys to understand what that formula is. First 3 seconds is the hook. Then, as Damien said, it's the why do we like movies? What is a movie? Like, guys, think about what a movie is. A movie is really just like takes us on this emotional roller coaster, right? So same as a video should take us on this emotional roller coaster. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm using TikTok, but I'm not getting views. Well, like revamp your messaging, like start scripting things out, start testing different hooks, start testing different angles, start testing all these different things. So yeah, what are your thoughts regarding using a personal brand account versus?
So I'm so it's tricky, right? So for a business account on TikTok, you don't get to use trending sounds. So like what Tom talked about, like all the trending sounds that shows up on a For You page, you can't actually use that with a business account. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, so I'm gonna close this. So what I did was I just made a personal account because, like, I think, you know, as long as you can direct people to your website or where whatever you're trying to send them to, then that's all that matters. So I did a personal account just because of the trending sounds, and also with TikTok because it values authenticity and human interaction more. People are more likely to follow another person than another brand. And I think that's like super important to know because there's only like a few businesses that do really well on TikTok. Duolingo is one of them. You guys should check them out. They do like amazing stuff. But I'd personally create like a personal account. And, you know, if you're not comfortable in front of the camera or you just don't want to talk, you can literally just like do what Emily does and just not even, or what John does. You don't even have to show your face. You can just like do some ASMR stuff and, you know, incorporate your products. But I would personally do a personal account and what I'm really trying to do is like what Elon does for Tesla. That's what I'm trying to do for my own business. Like if you ask someone like, who's the founder of Lamborghini or Audi? Like no one knows. Right. But who's the founder of Tesla? Elon. And the reason you know that is because Elon is literally the personal brand, personal face of Tesla. And when you know his personality, what he's up to, you're more likely to support what he's doing. So that's kind of what I envision for my account and what I want to do.
Right. Is it allowed to show other brands like photos on TikTok compared to yours?
What was that?
Peter asked the question, is it allowed to show other brands? For example, earlier you showed another brand of another cookie, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't like violate.
Well, yeah, I think you should be able to, but like if they do send you a cease and desist letter, you probably made it big.
Yeah, exactly. Which I have actually. Surprise! Another story.
Yeah. Any other questions about TikTok? So next week, we're gonna talk about, or next week, a couple of weeks, whatever. Next, what are we gonna talk about next? So now you got your TikTok. Like, what's next? It's building a landing page. So we can talk about how to build a landing page next time. Do
you want me to talk about that? What do you guys?
I think we should maybe stick with TikTok because I don't want to give people too much info in one session and just like, we have 15 minutes left. Maybe people can ask some questions in the WhatsApp or in the Zoom.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Would you do a general pre-sale on your own site or consider using that list to drive to a Kickstarter?
I'll just like kind of talk about that really quick, just because I have it up. So I just made a free trial Shopify account just for this sake. So this is like Zipify pages, what I told you guys about. And so Zipify really just lets you customize like a page onto your Shopify site, which means like if Tom is selling fidget spinners, so you can make a Shopify site, install Zipify onto the site, and just create on there. So it can be www.tomsfidgetspinners.com, and then you have like the page. So I'll just show you guys real quick. So this is kind of what it looks like. And so this is
a lot of it's template already. So you can literally choose the template and you can just change your images and stuff. So it's like building a website nowadays is actually drag and drop. It's not like you just click on any of them.
Here, I'll just show you this example real quick. So like, this is kind of what I used. So you can put like your logo, obviously, but notice how like you can't click to like the About Us page or the home page or, a product page. The only action you can take on this page is either you put in your email and submit it, or you leave the site. So it literally, you can't do anything else but that. So that's what I did for the landing page, where people gave me their email, and that connects to, Klaviyo, which is the email
host.
Yeah, the email host, where you can make campaigns and send out weekly emails and all that good stuff. And, if you want me to talk more about it next week.
Yeah, we can talk about it another time.
So that's pretty much it. Like this is the landing page. This is the thank you page. You can do that. And then this is Klaviyo. So when you start building up the list, you can like create a list called the pre-launch list, where everyone's going to be here. And then you can send out emails only to the pre-launch list. So yeah.
I'll read the questions out and you can answer them. Would you do a general pre-sale on your own site or consider using that list to drive to a Kickstarter?
It depends really like what you want to do. I've never done a Kickstarter before, so I can't really speak on that, but I've known like people that I had a friend recently who sold like this poster that is also a whiteboard that does really well. But I just did like a website. So I'll just show you guys real quick. So, so I just did like a pre-order. I had a website going on, and I would just send people to this page where they can just buy, just pre-order now, all that good stuff. But it's really up to you. What
it depends on your goal. Like, are you trying to? Yeah, it depends on your goal. Not every single project can be a Kickstarter project.
Yeah, the best projects are usually like games or electronics, stuff like that. For food, I don't know if any Kickstarters have been successful.
I haven't seen a lot of. How many posts should you post per day? As many as possible.
I'm on a grind right now, so I'm trying to post 3-4 times a day. But
Jesus.
I think that's dude. I found this chick. She's posting 50 times a day. And so for me, when I saw that, I was like, if she can post 50 times a day, I can post 4 times a day. So yeah, I'm on a grind right now.
Yeah. What
and
info
the more videos you post, the more chances you have of one hitting. So that's kind of like
yeah. What info did you take from consumers, and did you have to get them to opt in to send them marketing info?
Say that first part again.
What information did you take from consumers, and did you have to get them to opt in order to send them marketing info?
Yeah. So here, I'll just show you my page real quick. I don't know where it went. But I posted in the Facebook group, but it was just basically you collect their first name and their email. And you do have an option to, select in Klaviyo that you can get people to opt in. But, I just didn't do that because a lot of people just don't. So I just,
Can you repeat the steps and criteria into making a good TikTok video? The first 3 seconds is the hook, show the problem, provide the solution, and what else? Trending music, and then
Trending
also
music.
the text, and also the text.
Text on screen within the
text on
first 3
screen.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anything
then
else?
a good call to action at the end. So whatever you want them
Call
to do.
to action.
Follow me to come along for the ride. Follow me to see how this turns out. Or if you're in the productivity niche, follow me to get tips on productivity. Whatever it is, just leave it at the end. So
what's the incentive? Sorry. What's the incentive for pre-sale consumers?
So I touched on it briefly, but exclusivity and scarcity. So a lot of people think you have to do like a massive, massive discount in order to run a pre-sale. But what I did was, there's a good book on this. This is a good book that I read before I launched the pre-orders. It's called Launch. And it pretty much talks about how us humans have mental triggers, no matter like what we do. So exclusivity and scarcity is one of them. So you kind of want to include that as much as possible. So if you don't take action now, something is going to happen or something is going to go away. So for me, all I did was an exclusivity with a password. So you have to have a password in order to pre-order. And you have to be one of the first 200 people to pre-order in order to get yours before anyone else does. So that is literally all you have to do as long as you hit like those two. But obviously you can do something bonus, like the first 200 people who order get X, or can't think of anything right now, but just something like sort of bonus or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. That's
I'm not really a big fan of like discounts. I just think they're kind of lazy or something. But a bonus would be dope. So if you're selling like a fitness product, you can do like first 200 people who pre-order get like a free ebook on how to gain 10 pounds in 30 days or something like that.
Yeah. What is the incentive for, talk about that. Can you track your access and analytics on Zipify pages? Yeah, you can.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, is there analytics on Zipify?
So that's your Shopify site, right? Because Zipify, all Zipify is a landing page builder. So you would get all your analytics from Shopify.
Right. Zipify is just an app in Shopify's platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to sell on Amazon or Shopify or both?
Yeah, both. Excuse me. So the only reason I did a pre-order launch, I sold on my website, is because you can't do a pre-order on Amazon. So our main distribution, when we actually launch, is going to be Amazon, just because there is, we know our target customer already buys there. It's easy for people to check out, subscribe and save, get it on a regular. So our main play is actually going to be on Amazon, but we're also going to have our D2C side, our direct to consumer side, as a parallel. And so how I really think about it is I have this list and I'm going to send them all to Amazon. And once people buy, I have their information. I can send them over to my website, where Amazon is really more of a customer acquisition channel for us. And the website is where we really make a majority of our profit, because we'll do something special like buy more and you save. So if you buy like a 24 pack, you save 10. And so that really bumps up the average order value on the site versus Amazon, where people so Amazon for me is more of like a sampling channel. And then, sampling channel. And then our website is kind of going to be like our Costco, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I think about it for now. And then obviously later on down the line, once we kind of come out with more SKUs, more flavors, more products, we're going to take like the best selling and take them into retail is the goal to really be omni-channel.
How did you take how did you take their money?
What do you mean? How do I take them?
How did you collect the money? Well, I Shopify.
Shopify, yeah. So they have Shopify Pay, PayPal, like all these payment providers. So it's not like a hard thing. They just put in their card and they pay.
Yeah. Someone asked if you're willing to do a live training in LA.
How do they know I'm going to be in LA?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm down.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm actually going to be in LA end of the month, I think March 31st. So if anyone here wants to meet up, just hit me up.
Yeah, I think it's best if like everybody got enough for them to actually start on TikTok now. Like after tonight's call, everybody have a solid foundation. So instead of waiting for a live training or another training, or just literally get started on TikTok, like post your first video, write down the script, start implementing. Like people got to take action, man. Like people, like just will find every single excuse in the book not to post their first video. They're like, oh, I need more training. I need more this. I need more that. Like start throwing stuff in the wall and see what sticks, and start implementing the strategies and tactics that we taught today. And the best way to learn is by actually doing it. So everybody should pay. And you're gonna make a stupid video tonight. Just post anything. Like just post a video of your dog or whatever.
Yeah, as like what I've been kind of doing is like even with like normal day-to-day work, we're lazy. So like just get posting, even if no matter like how shitty your video is, like as long as you post that first video, you're gonna post the next one, and then it's just kind of gonna snowball and build momentum. And the hardest thing really is to just get over the fear of like what if someone like says this about me, or like just thinking about what other people think about you. And I think just like start posting, because you never know like if that one video like might change your life. And that's just kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. And then let's answer 2 more questions here. FDA approval for cookies. Like, how does that work?
I think you just list. I haven't gone through the process of listing it on Amazon yet, but I don't think it should be a problem. It's just you list it under grocery and gourmet. So it's just like, I think it should be just as simple as listing any other product, right?
No, I mean FDA, not FBA.
Oh, FDA.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you want to work with like a manufacturer, supplier that can help you go through these processes. So our supplier is actually, helping us, making sure everything is FDA approved, because with food, it's super tricky. You can't put like certain words on the packaging. You have to make sure all your nutritional facts are on there. Your address. There's so many things that you wouldn't think you have to put on there, but you do. So find a manufacturer that knows the ins and outs of the industry and is willing to help you out with navigating you through the process. So find a manufacturer that's willing to work with you.
Right.
Yeah. This is fun, man. I'm thank you for having me. I'm super happy.
Yeah, I'm learning lots as well. Just curious if you have any competitors prior to launch. I'm sure you have tons of competitors.
Yeah. Tom, you probably know him.
Yeah. Well, you have tons of not only him, but like tons.
Yeah, exactly. The space is super crowded, but I think what we're doing.
I feel like any like, even though yours low sugar, like any cookie is a competitor, really.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
any dessert is a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. There's competitors Chips Ahoy is a competitor or like a healthy cookie is a competitor. It just really depends on where, what part, like who you're really marketing to, right? So if you're marketing to someone that's doing keto, they're obviously going to be checking out competitors that's a healthy, low sugar. But if you're just marketing to someone like Jane on the street, then, they might be already eating Chips Ahoy. So your messaging might be different. So it's all these like different things you have to think about, like with food.
Yeah. Okay, guys, Damien is in the group. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit him up. So that's the end of tonight's call. I really enjoyed it. And next week or the week after, whenever Damien's free, let's do another one on landing page and then Klaviyo. And then I think everybody should be implementing this to their Amazon FBA business and then thinking about their business in the same sense that Damien is thinking about. So yeah, everybody said thank you, got tons of value. Thank you. So yeah, Damien, I think guys, if you can post a homework for you to do is by next week, everybody should post a you know what I should do? I should make it so that in order for you to join the next call, you have to send me your TikTok video. And that's the only way you can get access to Damien's call. So everybody needs to post.
I love it, John.
Yeah, everybody needs to post a video on TikTok, and then you don't need a product first. People see these are excuses. You don't need a product first. You're just these are not. You don't need a product first. Just post a video of it.
And if you don't have like an idea for a product yet, just think about like who you are as a person, like what interests you. So if you're into like biohacking or like gardening, just pick a niche and then something that, you enjoy, and then just start making content about that topic. You know what I mean? So if you're doing biohacking, here is what I eat before noon or something. I don't know. What I do for intermittent fasting, like stuff like that. So just pick something like a niche that you enjoy and then just start like creating content. And it's going to be so much easier for you to make content on something that you already do and have knowledge in. So
yeah, I agree. Okay, thanks guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed tonight's call.
Thanks for having me.
See you guys next. Yeah, thanks for hopping on.